Good morning to you, and thank you so much for finding time to being with us today. The show is Unfiltered, the Friday edition, where we get to look at some of the stories that have been making headlines across the week, and also we start with the headlines on the newspapers today. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, good evening, and depending on where you are tuned in and you're watching us, my name is Miriam Ogutu, and it is a pleasure to have you on board. I will start by bringing us the latest from the Kenya newspapers, and then Dr. Matanga will come in just a little bit later, and he will bring us the headlines from some of the papers from across the continent and beyond. We start with the Star newspaper, and the main headline, Ruto's big battle to undo Karua factor in Central. Martha has had nearly 30 campaign meetings since Tuesday. The story is on page 4 and 5. Murdered city fraudster stole ATMs, dragged victims, that is according to police. Kenyan missing in US, lover faces theft charges. That is on page 3. And COVID cases rise as vaccine uptake drops by 95%. And of course, on the Star newspaper, the main pictorial there is of Kalonzo. And Kalonzo retreats to his Yatta ranch to herd cows. That is the main pictorial there. Okay, and we will talk about that. And then we go to the Daily Nation, and the main headline is Rigathi versus Karua. Both Martha Karua and Rigathi Gachagua have changed the presidential election metrics, brought in a new angle to the tickets, and amplified the critical role played by running mates in determining presidential election outcomes. This, however, is not just a numbers game. The deputy president is a heartbeat away from the presidency and takes over from the head of state in the case of removal or death, which makes these two very consequential to their respective tickets. The story is on page 4 and 5. And then gender, age, and careers lead in choice of county running mates. The stage is set for a bruising battle for governorship in various counties, with aspirants tactfully picking their running mates based on gender, age, professionalism, experience, charisma, fame, and ethnic diversity. Some aspirants the nation has established countered their opponents' choices by appointing potential deputies with similar values. The story is on page 6 and 7, and the focus today on the county is on the county of Migori, and the battle for the Migori county seat has rekindled the rivalry between Ochila Yako and former cabinet minister Dalmas Otieno, only that now incumbent Okoth Obado is playing the kingmaker. The story is on page 21, and taxpayers to foot a new 34 billion Kenya shillings KQ bill from July. Money will be used to repay loans and bank interest. Okay, the story is on page 28. And then we cross over to the Standard newspaper, the main headline, Battle of the Running Mates, and that is on page 6. Chitembo sent home as panel picked, that is on page 10. Sacked judge, toast to victory. High Court Judge Martin Muya, sacked for alleged misconduct in handling the 76 million Kenya shillings dispute, wins a landmark case where Apex Court has for the first time reinstated a sacked judge. Okay, and then just up there, blocked IBC bird. That is on page 5. And secrets of a man killed in Mirema Drive shooting. Samuel Mugota's wife of 10 years, Winnie Wamboi, says she never knew her spouse's friends and was not allowed to call him. 3 men whose IDs were found in Mugota's car told the police they had lost 810,000 Kenya shillings following club druggings. The story is on page 3. So that is what we have on the leading newspapers this morning, and I'm joined by Gladwell Kiragu. Gladwell, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam. A very good morning to our viewers.
All right, nice to have you. And also on the other side is Dr. David Matanga. Doctor, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Miriam. Good morning across the continent of Africa. This is Punchline Africa Television, right from south of Sahara. Good morning.
All right, so I'm just done with the Kenyan newspapers. Do you have the others from across the continent?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Let me do the others from the continent. What is it that now is here? Oh, these things keep on changing location. Miriam, bear with me. Yes. Thank you very much, viewers. The other news making headlines across the continent. The Daily Monitor of Uganda, inside Uganda's dark world of drugs. I didn't know that my Ugandan people do drugs. I am now just seeing the headline, which Miriam is very embarrassing as far as I am concerned. But anyhow, I left Uganda hundreds of decades ago, so I wouldn't be surprised that the mafia also have captured our nation. The Daily Monitor said inside Uganda's dark world of drugs. That's the headline on the Monitor. And then we go to another, the Guardian Post. It says, the Guardian Post, I don't know, United States 50 years on, continuing the challenges. I don't know, Miriam, which country that one comes from. This time, I don't know. You can, is a newspaper of the Guardian Post, is it United we stand, divided we fall? Special edition, I think Nigeria, let me see the president. Oh, Gabon, oh, Cameroon, I can see Paul Biya there. Paul Biya is something very strange, Miriam. You must have talked about it in your African news, that they are handing over the chairmanship of the AU Security Council to Cameroon. Did you hear something like that? And it is going to take place in Malabo, in Equatorial Guinea. It says, the new vision of Uganda said the government promotes 1,400 secondary school teachers. That's very good news. Uganda education, oh yeah, and it gives a thumbs up. The Daily Telegraph of Britain says Sue Gray demands to name Partygate ringleaders. Those who actually were enjoying the parties while people were being told to lock down in Britain. The Telegraph has that story and a picture of, who is that now? The Life Daily News of Zimbabwe, life hastening for poor people. Yeah, life is hastening everywhere for poor people. Everybody in the world is having a very rough time. The Guardian says MPs approved 2.4 trillion bill of defense, food and security. The Guardian of Britain, you can see people are preparing for what sanctions Russia has put forward. I didn't know that Russia was very main, seriously, I underestimated it, but now you can see each country is trying to say, we must prepare for food storage and so on and so forth. The war in Ukraine has brought quite a lot of difficulties, Miriam. And then we go to another newspaper, The Nation of Nigeria. Pressure on APC governors over tickets for senators, representative. That's the headline. We can see politics everywhere. People are looking for positions in order to come and cheat the common people in Africa, as we shall be seeing. Do these politicians have morality anyway? And then the Herald of Zimbabwe, net closing in on economic saboteurs. President Mugabe is not joking. On that one, I want to tell you, there's a credit there for on the fight against corruption and the saboteurs of the state, economic crimes that are being committed against the people of Zimbabwe. that one Mugabe left a background, a good legacy. Someone has continued to do what Mugabe would do, because when Mugabe died, you can see on his account, there was only 10,000 shilling dollars, pounds in Britain when I got the documents which he had given a power of attorney for me to receive on his behalf. So thank you very much on that one. That is the Herald of Zimbabwe newspaper. And the other people that pumped up an agriculture budget prompts debate. I think Suluhi, Mama Suluhu, Samia Suluhu, is not joking. He's gone back to the basics of Nyerere. He's mixing the Nyerere with Jamashi, encouraging the farmers to plant crops, to use Tanzanian first soil, and make sure that they grow enough food. Miriam, surprisingly, Tanzania is not on the list of those countries that are suffering from food shortage. And you remember we used to smuggle maize to take to Tanzania. You remember that? Now Tanzania seems not to be saying, it is Kenya in the middle, that they are demanding even food to come from outside. Because the woman has gone back, she has clipped her wings. She doesn't bother attending some of these summits. She's busy building a nation from on the ground. So that's the citizen of Tanzania. And I think there is no other paper.
Tanzania is on that list.
Oh, Tanzania is on the list of the drought.
And Uganda as well.
Oh, you have inserted it there this morning.
It's there. I read that story. It's on the BBC, but it's okay.
Uganda?
Mm-hmm. Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, Cameroon, Nigeria, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe are countries that will benefit.
For food?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not for starvation. Is it the money? Oh, the money that the United States is giving.
Mm.
Yeah, the money for aid, yeah, because Uganda has
U.S. injects $215 million US dollars into Africa food security. That's why they're giving. Because for COVID and all this, I think
yeah, you are right.
A lot of things have been affected, yeah, so.
Yeah, no, it is. I think I was confusing the hunger, the starvation, and other things, but this is money that is injected to
Africa food security. That is the purpose of that money, yes.
Yes, thank you very much. So, but it all brings me back to you in the studio. I am Dr. David Matanga. Thank you very much for the introduction. And here we are, Gladwell. Good morning. Are you in Meru or Nyeri or Runyenjes?
A very good morning to you, Dr. Matsanga. I'm actually in Keno coming back.
Keno? Oh my God.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Back to you in the studios. Let's start our show this morning, the Unfiltered. I'm ready to go. Let me take my tea and I wait for the guidance. Thank you.
All right, so before we get into the topics that we have, there's a story that is in line with the topics, the ethics and the morals as far as our politics is concerned. And on page 5 of the Standard, that is where we start our conversation this morning, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has been stopped from processing Mr. Mike Sonko's nomination papers to vie for Mombasa governor's seat. Yesterday, Justice John Mativo issued the orders stopping IEBC from clearing Mr. Sonko for the August 9th elections, pending the hearings and determination of an application by Haki Yetu Kituo cha Sheria and Transparency International. The organizations want Sonko disqualified. That pending the hearing and determination of the application and or further directions of this court, I order that the IEBC be as hereby restrained from processing Sonko's nomination papers to vie for the office of the governor of Mombasa County on May 16th, the High Court in Eldoret forwarded one of the 3 petition files seeking to stop Sonko from vying for Mombasa governor to the Chief Justice. So this is the second time, the second case, and the second time that the court is ordering IEBC not to clear Sonko to run for the governorship seat of Mombasa County. Okay, because that is off in this conversation.
Can I tell you something? We are now becoming very selective. Immorality is everywhere. And let's speak the truth. Yes, we know Sonko has got very dangerous morals. But there are equally so many people in Kenya who should not be on the ballot. If you look at the money that and the crimes that Gachagua had, Rigathi Gachagua has committed, which are not documented. Some of them are documented. Some of them are perceptions. Look at the crimes that Mr. Ruto has committed. Perceptions, allegedly. It should not be on the ballot. There are many people in Kenya who should not be on the ballot paper. So maybe because Kituo ya Sheria went only for one person, they should have included everybody. Most of them who are impeached, most of them who have cases. And the parliament should have repealed that section, which says you have to finish up, then you can't step aside once you are mentioned in a corruption scandal. Sonko, as far as I'm concerned, is my friend, but we don't know whether he's the dead one or the alive one. The one who is alive or dead. So there are two Sonkos here that we are talking about. There's a Sonko whose document appeared on paper that he died somewhere in 2005 and buried. So this one has resurrected like a Jesus Christ, disrupting this entire system. Justice Mativo here has not done the right thing. He should have declared the entire thing, that everybody who has got these cases, let him come and finish and tell us how far he has gone with this case before he goes to. For you to just block one person, it becomes vindictive. It doesn't become justice, Miriam. That's what I'm trying to say.
Very well.
Yes.
Gladwell?
Miriam, to be honest, as Doc has said, that is true. Because we are now becoming choosy on particular people. Because in Kenya, there are so many people in the office, and some have been impeached, the likes of Honorable Waitito, the former Governor Kiambu. And for example, somebody like Waitito and the Sonko, we have seen they got so many scandals, and they have always been arrested here and there. And to be specific, their cases have always been on the lookout. They're always on the lookout. But what is happening to the rest? Somebody Rigathi Gachagua, he got so much scandal, but he's actually there outside. Running his life smoothly, and actually is very comfortable. So I think it's high time we stop being choosy and selective on particular people. Let them come for everybody who is involved in corrupt issues, because at the end of it all, we want a clean government. When you're electing, we need a clean government, a government free of corruption. Anybody who is going to be in the polls come August, he or she needs to be clean, not like somebody like Kwegoro. We are going to see her in the ballot. Yes, we know the NYS scandals, cases that have never actually been listened to, and they were listened to. No solution was found. The person is still walking out. So can they stop being selective?
All right, on how this law is implemented. And Doc, this morning I was shocked. Jeff showed me another article about Obado's wife. She will be running. She is on the ballot paper. She's running as the Migori women representative. Can you imagine that? And the husband has a murder a case. Right now, the trial is ongoing. I don't know, they halted it so that he's able to, I don't know if he's running again, but yeah, the wife is running.
Yeah, but let me, yeah, the wife has no case. Has she? She's not part of Obado's case in the court. I think she's all right. She's okay to run on her own. Yeah, she's not. The people who are chosen are the two men and Obado. The wife was not connected. When it came to corruption charges, the wife was not included in the corruption charges.
It was the children.
The children were included. So she's safe.
And she did not know that the money was being directed to her children's accounts.
Yes, she didn't know. She could. Obado, do you really know Obado?
I don't.
I've come across Obado, and I know how bad he. You know, he doesn't smile anyhow. Even in a hotel, he does not smile. He's a smooth operator. He's the type of people who does these things root away. You know, he doesn't smile anyhow to people, Obado. And when he decides to do his thing, he does it. So, sincerely speaking,
there's a possibility she did not know.
I think she knew there was something wrong.
But you know, Doc,
again, Miriam,
yes.
Thank you very much. It goes to morality, to the background of morality.
Yes.
You can't sleep with a husband who's telling people he's purchasing 2 houses, and you have been married. This is a technique that is being used by Mrs. Obado to get power within the family, to remain there.
She's a beneficiary of these proceeds of corruption. When my child is benefiting from corruption, you can't tell me that my child will not give me part of that.
I am not saying they didn't know. They knew, Miriam.
She knew.
They knew. Yes, but now the point is that she will tell you, I am not on the charge sheet.
That's what she said. That's what actually she's saying.
Yes. Mm-hmm. If you want to charge Obado, but don't charge Okoth. Is it Okoth? Yes. Helen Okoth is different. So if I was in Migori, I would also like to say, I want to love Helen Okoth, not Obado. Is there nobody in Migori who can challenge Obado? Then we'll see. Obado will bring you the whole platoon of administration police to surround your house. Then that is where you can test. Now, Miriam, morality here, my dear sister, and you have raised my blood pressure now.
Not morality, your blood pressure. We need your blood pressure, okay, but
morality here in Africa is very bad. There is a friend of mine, every time when there is going to be an election, they separate with the wife. And I don't want to name him here. I am lucky. You are lucky this morning. I'm in a mood that is quiet. Somber mood. I'm quiet. I'm thinking, I would have named this guy. Every time in 2013, he said they had separated with the wife. When it came to 2017, there was a separation. So I went and took pictures. In the morning, this guy goes in the evening, I took his car pictures. In the morning, he lives in the same home. I brought them somewhere and said, this guy tells us he has separated with the wife. But they only do that to acquire positions in the government. Miriam, did you know that? That is what Obado's wife is doing now.
Mm-hmm. Except for them, they have not separated. They're still very much together.
Exactly. And this other crew were never separated. They were lying to Kenyans. It's a very big family in the Kenya anyway. One day when offline, I will tell you who they are. Every time when there is an election, now there is an election, they have brought a story within the government circles that they are separated. They are no longer together in order to confuse those appointing authorities to appoint them. As soon as you appoint them, they come together. Unaona? the sense of morality, which is part of our topic on unfiltered, is lacking. There is no morality here, Miriam. Tuambiane ukweli. Hakuna morality hapa. Ala. I can't go somewhere pretend that I have I've divorced my wife because I want someone to love me. No. I tell you, I'm still with my wife, and my wife might be listening. I have never said I have divorced with you. Never. We have never divorced in order to earn a living. I say I've divorced with my wife in order for a small girl walking with shoes around town to say that we now want to marry. What type of life is that? No. I tell you, Miriam, when you want me, I have my wife with 8 children. Yes, I've been married for 45 years. Sasa, what will you do? If you love me, you love me. But pretending because we want to earn a living and the money comes in the house, wacha tukufe na njaa. Mimi sina na hiyo. What Miriam, wacha tukufe na njaa. Let hunger kill us. But I cannot pretend. This is like a South Sudan saying, don't remove an embargo on guns when the guns are killing people. Which man in the world can give you more guns to go and kill each other? Have you seen that? Anyway, when you keep in that Sudan issue, you will see the yes. But
Doc, maybe you said maybe she didn't know because this case that has been making rounds about this criminal that was shot in Mirema Drive, apparently his wife of 10 years, Winnie Wamboi, says she never knew her spouse's friend. They've lived together for 10 years. She did not know these friends of this man's friends, or she never knew what this man does for a living. And if she questioned, I think she was, he was very physically abusive, I think, to her. And so it's possible. Is it possible? Okay, in this case, she's saying she did not know, and this man had other 6 wives. And she did not know this man.
You know what?
So but that is a separate case from Helen Obado's. I think, I don't know. I will not give her a pass on this.
David Gradual tried to say something, and then I will come in there, and that she didn't know what?
For 10 years. She didn't even know she had 6 other co-wives.
No.
Gladwell, your thoughts. Is it possible?
Miriam, let me start with the Obado because it kind of relates kidogo. Sometimes I admire the intelligence service of a British USA abroad. Reason being, they're very smart compared to Kenyans, and I'm sorry to say so. Because if I was asked Obado's wife, Helen, should also not be vying for any position. Miriam, on that case, I don't know if I'm overthinking or it is too much moving, but whatever, when the woman found out that Helen was pregnant for the husband, she also tried to trick a deal, and before she went ahead and did it, or maybe when she did it, it can be a double-crossing thing. So maybe even she was also involved in that case. Maybe she was. The same man the husband hired could be the same man without her knowing she also hired. You never know. Because at the end of it, if you're a criminal and you're known, you're always a criminal. And you always, as you do some of these things, you find for the best criminal, those who can cover up. And Miriam, about the man who was shot in Mirema, there's something we call striking deals and they go sour. If you've watched, if you followed up that story, it's a story I've really followed. It is said that maybe a deal went sour and one of the women betrayed him. And they sent some people to kill him because when the man was gunned down, his accomplices actually flew out of the country. Were they arrested? No, they are free and they flew out. So the man had been married for 10 years, Miriam. But again, my question to this woman, because it is said that those, inclusive and now there are 7 women, they were living a very poshy life. How can you live a poshy life, Miriam, and you are not questioning of your husband's money? Like you have everything and you're not questioning how. And when you question, the man become violence. I doubt. For 10 years, I mean, women we believe to be more of a CID. Women, if you want to know something, will just know it. Women will investigate more than CID. So I doubt either this woman is trying to cover up to protect herself. That is one. Yes, and that is what she's doing. She's covering up to protect herself because she knows she'll also be detained and she'll also be questionable. Because if the husband was doing so, she also knew. Again, in the car when the man was gunned down, he had IDs, he had laptops. So that my question is, that woman for those 10 years and in the bedroom, maybe or maybe in the house, because if she's the woman of the house, definitely she knows the whole house. She knows her house. Mm-hmm. You want to tell me, Miriam, that at a particular time she never saw the laptops, the phones, and the IDs? Because, Miriam, you can't be living as a stranger in your house. No. So you have also to know. So this woman is covering up to protect herself.
Okay, and Mr. Mugota, this criminal, never took alcohol, did not smoke, and never allowed his wife to call or text him. From the word go, he used to say, nikikutaka nitakutafuta, if I need you, I'll call you. And, she lived that life for 10 years. So anyway, and I think what you've said makes a lot of sense, Gladwell. Doc, go ahead.
Miriam, let me ask you, then what type of life is that you are living in? Women, you younger ladies, especially Gladwell, who is not married. Miriam is already taken. And I just want to say, Gladwell, choose. It's better to die with an old horse than to die with such life where the husband tells you in the morning, don't call, I will call you. Then, as long as that comes out of your mouth, the first thing that you should detect that there is something. And as you have rightly said, Gladwell, you women are more investigative than even the DCI. A woman will allow you to go to the bathroom and then she goes in your pocket. She knows she will find something. Yes, especially men who come back at 2 o'clock, 3 a.m. in the morning. They are eating the coat. They go and do some other bad things there. Then you go to the pocket, you will find the receipt. You see? There is nothing that I do myself without, let me tell you, I don't know. Some women, as Gladwell has said, this woman is trying to hide something. And she's not hiding it properly. She's fearing going to prison. She's fearing money questions. She's distancing this guy, and someone is printing such material in the public domain. This woman is an accomplice. She should just be taken down to Langata prison, then she can sort out through the judges and tell the judges whether she didn't know. That is a very big lie. I don't think my wife can stay without knowing what I'm doing. I have to brief my wife almost on a weekly basis or daily.
And for 10 years?
I have contact. I call her daily. If I have not talked to her, she's busy. I'll send a message. I'm here. I'm back. I'm there. I'm going to this. I'm going to Harare. I'm going to Addis Ababa. I'm going to Malabo. I'm going to Paris. I'll be coming to this. I'll be going to The Hague. And then you put your record to her. She knows. She gives you that permission and the respect to do your work. But when you say you have been in 10 years marriage and you have not been calling, then this woman was equally a thief also who goes to rob, and maybe after the man has killed people, this woman is the one who cleans the surfaces. You have watched movies, Gladwell. You have seen the movies, how people cut people to pieces, put in bags, and then the woman, the whole family takes it to throw. So this woman is lying to us. Morality again has collapsed like in Obado's.
Yeah, we were making a reference of Helen Obado, not
Helen Obado. First of all, Helen Obado should have been treated like a criminal direct,
And now,
an accomplice to murder.
Doc,
Yes.
she's saying that when she's campaigning and she's saying, you should, whatever happened to Obado and those allegations, that is on him. She has distanced herself from this, and yet she was present during that, press conference when Obado had him and his family there when, he was, speaking to the press. She stood by her husband. And now you want to come out here and tell us you have no idea and we should separate your husband's sin from you?
Miriam, what did she tell us? What did she tell us herself? What did she tell us? She said she stands by the husband, the family. You remember that press conference?
Yes. She stood by her husband. Yeah, and the family.
This is a tactic. A tactic that is now being used, devised in the family, in the bedroom. Mom, you go that way, and the chances could be you're a leader, and I could be, sentenced. You can fight for me to come out. You see, distance yourself. And then she went out to say, Obado is Nani's point man, Ruto's point man in Migori. So it is very interesting. It goes back to integrity. We put it in a chapter, our chapter 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, but we have rarely followed it. When you start trying to expose corruption in Kenya, what they do is to go and write things, trying to find things about Miriam, about Karego. If Karego says, I am going to stand high on top of the hill and talk about corruption, someone would like to look for where Karego lives, what has Karego been doing, and then they think they are countering it. They don't know you are saving them. You see, there is something that has pained me on this medium, that a very senior lawyer said both Jesus and Barabbas were put on trial. Did you hear something like that this morning?
I missed that.
And Ambrose Weda, a deacon of Church of Kenya, the Anglican Church of Kenya, ordained deacon, said both Barabbas and Jesus were put before a trial, were fairly tried. Surely, Jesus did not even utter a word. Barabbas uttered a word. The few words that Jesus said is just, you are the one saying it, not me. Up to the end, when he said at 3 p.m., he died and said, it is over. It is over. It is finished. And then the other words that Jesus, when you see lawyers like this is when you see a country is wicked. You see Dr. Ojwang, a very known, well-experienced teacher in Nazarene University, teaching law. But when he comes, he doesn't even look like he's worth a professor. You know, when he comes on national TV with his type of head, telling people, I don't know how students, I don't know how, if I was a student in that class, I would violate the laws and walk out and go and do my studies from my house. Because a man just hates Raila, then he carries the whole hatred to the national television and tells people, he fails even to see the truth about what it is. What is it that you talk about Sonko? That is what you don't know. Who is Sonko? The type of person we are trying to have. The type of, look, are we talking about the Sonko who died and has resurrected? Miriam, maybe you educate me here now. Is it the Sonko who has been the governor taping people, and when you talk to him, he puts your telephone on public? There is another Sonko who died at age 2. And then you have lawyers of good quality because they hate Raila Odinga over a mistake. There's time to forgive. I've been with Ojwang on so many international assignments, and I've been telling him that Ojwang, forgive. Forgive people. There are so many people who have even alleged so many things on some of us, but we have forgiven them. Miriam, we have forgiven them. I've forgiven so many people. Somebody says, in 1971, I was not in senior secondary school. My OBs are the ones answering it today. Because 1971, I was with some people who are alive, and we are in the same school. So do you go and hit the whole world? No. What you do, you keep quiet. If someone says in 1971, Matanga was not in senior secondary school, in a place when Idi Amin had overthrown the government in Rubo, in Tororo, then he can go and eat his mother. You don't need to, or the father, and go and look for the father who produced me and took me to school, who is apparently dead. But I've told you myself, so you leave the OBs, Miriam, your OBs to come up and say, but I was here with him. So many of them have come up to say, but we are here with him. Even the generals in the Uganda Army, Uganda UPDF, I was with them, 71. So when you say I didn't go to school, that I didn't go you don't know when I did it, how? You people in London, there are so many people that we started classes. A university in London takes like 20,000 students in Calcutta House. They say that they didn't see me there? So when you look at such things, Miriam, there are things that you cannot, you have to forgive people and move on. But you go forgive, create morality, morals. Morality is not there. So for me, what I've done is to forget about people, what they talk, and what I've decided is to do one thing, to uphold the route towards morality. Is it moral? Yes. Is it immoral? No, I will not take it. So when you see some of those signs, then you calculate. Miriam, you are talking of the wives. Can I also ask, not even the wives, what about the children of Mr. Obad? How do they assure a daughter? How do you marry such a daughter who say, who is on money that was stolen? A car that you sit in was bought by stolen money. And you are just a boyfriend of this lady. And you walk around the nightclubs. You know that, Miriam, fortunately, 4 years ago, I used to go to some of these social places. The worst misbehaving group are the people, the children of big people. The so-called big people in Kenya. They borrow their father's bodyguards and come with their father's bodyguards in a place where people are supposed to dance freely and enjoy and drink and go home. Most of the fights in the nightclubs in Kenya, Miriam, being a social Friday, we are talking about everything, are caused by Nick Ruto and a group. I'm telling you, I've never seen Kenyatta's children causing fights in nightclub. No, I've never come across Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta's children causing fights, but I've been called at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. to go and rescue my nephew, Ocharo, I think Stephen knows Ocharo. Stephen can do the hand like this. Knows Ocharo. Ocharo and Nick Ruto in a nightclub in Westlands. Babu Owino was going to finish them. 3 a.m. I was called. So the police in the Parkland said, Dr. Matsaga, there is a nephew of yours out here who says he's your nephew. And he's pleading, we are separating him, he's with Nick Ruto. We are separating him, a fight between Babu Owino and Nick Ruto, which had erupted in a club where they are. I drove to that scene. Whom do I find? When Babu Owino saw me, he said, oh, Muse, I did not know. You see, I am sorry, Muse. I am sorry. Owino respects me, Babu Owino respects me so much. I swear in the name of God. He said, I am sorry. I didn't know he's your nephew. But that one of that Ruto's boy is the one who brought the trouble. When I look this side, I asked Ocharo, what are you doing here? You asked me for money to go home. How did you end up in a nightclub? And this money you asked me was for rent. Kevin Ocharo, why did you do this to me? I've given you my 14,000 shillings to go and pay your rent. You are busy fighting people in the Westlands. I said those morals are not very good. And I saw that boy was going to bring problems. He was going to die in Kenya here. Thanks God I helped him to get a scholarship. He went to US to study, and I think he's about to finish. Oh, he has finished. He told me the other week, he told me he's about doing his final exams. That is, I saw he was going to be killed here because of that behavior. He's just somebody, a nephew that I said, let me help. But you can see the trouble of what goes on. Who causes trouble? The children of the big people. That was the point I was trying to make. They come in a nightclub, you are dancing so well, even if you are with your wife in a nightclub, they would like to dance with your wife. In fact, they sent the bodyguards. I think that Matiang should work on this. That when a police officer, the Honorable Matiang, when a police officer has been assigned to guard the father, these bodyguards should not be used. They wear uniform, no uniform, and then they go out in nightclubs to beat you and beat people, beat others, especially Ruto's group. You find them with 5 bodyguards. The whole of office of Ruto is transferred into a nightclub where people cannot dance peacefully. There is the spokesman there called Mugonyi. He comes with a group of bodyguards of Ruto, all of them with pistols. You can see them. So what life can you, if you are not used to a gun, Miriam, can you drink? Can you take a drink there? So you just pick your small bag and your small whatever you came with and you go away. Because once a man drinks and goes to the bathroom, he could come back and shoot you because of the politics. So some of these things are happening. The children of the big people are the ones that are making crimes. The wives of the big people are the ones hiding the crimes of corruption. This woman should not say she didn't know that the husband was a thief or a killer for 10 years.
Very well. A very nice pictorial on the Star newspaper this morning. That is Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka looking after his cows back in Yatta Farm in Machakos County yesterday. He seems to be doing a lot of relaxation, if I may, if I may put it like that. But he seems to be at work in his farm anyway. You think he's really thinking through his decision that he made last week? Is it last week or Monday?
Yes, let Gladwell try first. Gladwell.
Yes, he's just looking after his cows, but you know, Martha Karua is busy campaigning. She's done about 30 campaigns meetings since Tuesday. Gladwell.
You know, with Kalonzo, Miriam, you actually don't know what he's planning. No, that's the issue with Kalonzo. And if he's not on the lookout and not careful, the same way he's watching over his cattle, the same thing he'll be doing onwards from August after the election. If he don't drop the ego he has, and a very bad one, that will become his lifestyle. The comfort he's having now he will have it for the rest of his life now. But unless 2027 something else comes up, of which I doubt. Yeah. So, Miriam, what I'm trying to say, yesterday as I was watching News Citizen, we saw there was a highlight that Kalonzo is regretting everything. And yes, indeed he is. But, you know, with these politicians, they tend to have this ego that, you know, with Kalonzo is making the people see that you can't do without me. That is what he's trying to show these people, that you can't do without me. And if actually I was asked, I would say, can you leave him out of anything you're doing? Because Mother Karua, actually, at the end of it, they are working together with Raila. And we can see Mother Karua is actually campaigning. So what importance is of Kalonzo, by the way, anyway, currently as we speak? Because within the days that Mother was announced to be the running mate of Raila, we can see things have changed throughout Kenya. And actually, that's 3 days and things have changed. So what happens if Mother continues the same spirit till August? So Kalonzo actually currently is of no importance. Can he stop seeing himself like he's on top of the world, that his ego is that much? No. I mean, no. Can Uhuru and Raila now stop? I mean, he's not a kid. Let him be. If he wants to graze peacefully, let him do so. Yeah.
And I saw he has a lot of chicken. I don't know, he should tell us about the eggs. I don't know if he has enough like those ones of DP root, but I saw he does have a good number of chicken and vegetables. He's an actual farmer.
Yes, Miriam, he is. And yesterday, I actually laughed when somebody said, Kalonzo is a good farmer, but how comes he never farms watermelon?
I saw that comment too. I was just trying to be nice this morning, but anyway, Doc.
Miriam, flogging a dead horse does not help our cause. I am first of all about the. We are already discussing even morality.
We're there. Yes, we are.
Yes, so, I am very happy about the cows. Gladwell, they are Zimio. They are red color Jubilee, a bit of brown. We don't have a body color there. Is there any of them becoming yellow? No. I'm very happy about the cows, and I'm very happy about the childish behavior. Adolescence. Kalonzo is a grown-up, 69 years, but he has got a behavior of a child. You see the way he's pocketing and allowed those pictures to go out, that he doesn't care. He knows what he wants, but here on this one, he gambled too far. And as they have said in the elsewhere, that the 40 days of a thief always come on the 39th day when you are about to. Kalonzo's gamble here is very bad. You cannot do in law, you cannot say, the law does not take the, you put one document here, then you go ahead and assign another one in the other one. So the IEBC cannot go back and recognize this one. It was nullified. It's nullified, gone. Tuambiane ukweli. So what Kalonzo is doing now is to negotiate, because he has seen somebody in Ukambani going to be appointed a chief minister. And that post, because his vote, even by opinion poll itself, he has got not even more than, even if you say Kambani, you try and they give you, you
give
don't
him
get
2%.
more than,
he had like 2%.
you cannot get 6%. You cannot, countrywide, you will not. That's it, that's where the end. So he has seen he has reached a dead end medium. And now reaching the dead end, what Kalonzo has done is to try and hold the tribe together. Because the tribe is going to ask, why did you run away? Why did you run away from one of the things that you are supposed to do? Why did you run away from doing one, handling the thing of ours of the chief minister? And we lost everything. Now our vote cannot take us anywhere. Now we are done with you. 227, there is nothing you are going to tell us which we shall say we love it. Now, Miriam, you see what is going to happen. That's why Kalonzo has now decided that he's losing friends. Where are the friends? Kalonzo's politics of brokerage is what has brought us where we are. And Kenya's politics of brokerage, everything media have been telling you, everything in Kenya is a broker, is brokered. All the things in Kenya are brokered. Everything. You go to the ministry, you want to be served. There will be somebody to say, your documents will be ready tomorrow. But the documents will be ready tomorrow. But thank you very much. But mzee, kesho kama utakuja, unajua weekend imefika. Graduate, have you also come across that?
Yes.
Weekend inafanya nini? Imefika. Miriam, you know that very well. The worst day of any Kenyan is Friday, to go to an office to chase a document like a passport. The owner will have it there. It has come out, but anakuambia hii passport. Have you heard? Do you know, Miriam and Gladwell, unfortunately, we can't see Gladwell. We would like to see her body language. You know that language starts. Medium me for it. As soon as I see that language, but you know, ikitu, polisi anakusimamisha hapo Naivasha. You know they have a permanent roadblock there for taking some money. I don't know whether Miriam you have noticed. Every time you are driving towards that place, you will find a police as you come down. Mzee, mzee, hii speed ilikuwa kali. Hii maneno, now, once you see a policeman is saying like that, it's brokerage. The politics of brokerage begins there. Mtafanya brokerage, unasema bwana, mimi najua hii gari nilikuwa nakimbia upesi, iko mgonjwa huko wapi? Nakuru hospitali. Tena waliniita upesi. Anasanya mzee, hiyo mambo unazungumza najua, lakini wewe umeshafanya makosa. Sasa, and you hear another word that comes on all the time, sasa. When you hear sasa, don't even hesitate. So for me, what I've decided in this country, when I'm driving and the police start stopping to me, I tell them I have my license. I have 2 licenses, actually, British license and the Ugandan license. Driving license, I have them in my wallet. I have not made any crime. I have not passed the camera. If the camera has taken a photograph, can you show me the photograph? Because in my car, I also have CCTV. I was looking at myself the way I was driving. When I'm fungulia the hammer and I said, look at my CCTV from the top. He said, mzee sasa, we naenda kwa maneno mingi ya nini bwana? We mtu yetu. Then namwambia but mzee, please, for me, don't waste my time. Just tell me, mzee, iko watoto, unataka kununua chakula leo, this is, I'll give you. But don't tell me the story that I've broken the law. Because I have my driving license, I have my insurance on the car, and I have everything with me. And this car is loaded with a fire extinguisher, the tires are very good. There's nothing you are going to check to say. The only other thing you are going to check and find out is that I'm a Ugandan. Maybe that's the only thing you can charge me with. You say, I'm saying, maneno hii tana unaingiza mingi. Anaenda, anasema wacha tufanye kazi kidogo mzee. Wewe sasa, wewe amua. Miriam, have you not, I'm telling you what exactly takes place in those places. Amua. Wewe mzee amua tuende sasa. So you feel sympathetic. I like the person. Look here. I like the person who has helped me, even if I'm not in wrong, who is straightforward. When you open up the car window, you say, mzee, tutaka kumaliza muda na wewe. Sisi salary yetu bado kuja. Medium, I will pull out the money, like 1,000 bob or 500 and say, enda nunua chakula ya leo. Then someone taking you to the route of a legal route of saying, look, you are now also committing a crime like that woman of Kiambu, of Kasarani, Murema, who said, I've lived with the husband for 10 years, but I didn't, he told me not to text, not to, wacha tuambiane ukweli, Miriam. I think there is a rotten society here. We have killed all the morals. Kalonzo Musyoka has told us, shown us that morality in Africa is nothing but lies, double speak. And that morality has gone into the judiciary. That morality has sunk into our teachers. That's why we have exams guarded under police escort. My exam just came by post. Medium in 1980, 1970s, 60s. Did you know that the examination papers came by post? Because there was no cheating. They came by post. Bududa post office, PO box. There was a person called a Muhindi called Hussein, who's related to the lady, the British Prime Foreign Secretary, Home Affairs Secretary. That is the granddaughter of Hussein. I'm now telling you. The woman who is a Home Affairs Minister in Britain is a relative of ours by relative extension because we come from the same area. And my grandfather used to work in those places. So they went to London and the son produced the lady who is now the Home Affairs Minister of Britain. Now, it used to come by post. Headmaster goes, opens the box, that you see that cook the box, pulls out there was no escort. No escort. No. Now the type of exams your child, my child, me children, all of us are doing, the people are doing now, the exams are more escorted than money in the bank. Morality, Miriam. Morality is gone. Why do we waste police time to escort exams? No, honestly, tell me, why do we waste police time to escort exams? Exams are a test of your life in the future. Why don't you just do it properly? And then you weigh yourself in the public in tomorrow. Some of us did not complete our studies, but we went out and completed our studies. We went and started afresh, where Ugandan papers could not be recognized. You start afresh and go to the ladder. That's why you see most of the Somali MPs in parliament, they started afresh in London, because nobody can recognize any paper from Somalia. I used to feel like 40 to 50 forms each day for schools. I used to recommend them South Thames College. South Thames College is the college where I went, and then I came back to teach there. I taught for about 6 months when I was doing my intern in South Thames College. I taught a lot of Somali people. And from there, they upgraded and did quite a lot of degrees. Today, they are speaking very good English, because at that age, some of them were young. Me, my English cannot change because it has the Ugandan accent. And I don't want to pretend like I'm a Mzungu. My children can speak English because they have lived in UK throughout. But me, I lived halfway in my country. I went to that place when I was about 29 years old. I've spent there about 7 years. If you add that, you will get my age very clear. It clicks. So it is not, you know, some of the things, these things need sincerity. And if the editors are not giving sincerity, Kalonzo is not, we should not waste time on him. We should actually avoid Kalonzo. That the people of Azimio continue with their programs. If Kalonzo comes on the way and joins Martha Karua and Raila, fine. If he doesn't, elections should not be conducted of a matter of death. Life and death, that is sad. I would prefer, Miriam, let's click in on the question of morality. I don't know whether you have finished with Kenya. We go to, we bring in morality. One of the morals why the South Sudan war is not ending is morality. Both leaders have no morals. Most of the leaders' morals are not there. They are there to gain positions. We have political vice president 1, vice president 2, vice president 3. We have arranged a political agenda, but we have not arranged a healing agenda. Believe me or not, South Sudan is another case of morality. Until people have morals, you say you want more arms to be delivered to South Sudan. To who? Deliver the arms to who? To the central, to army and army? Whose army is it? Do we have a professional army there now? Surely. If you can ask anybody, is there a professional army in South Sudan that can go for peacekeeping in Ukraine? Or peacekeeping in there's another country in turmoil somewhere. I have a very serious problem. Like, I don't know where I was discussing this yesterday. I was discussing the question of transition in Africa. United Arab Emirates sit down and look at each other, left, then right, left, like this medium. Look at this, look at that. Say the middle one is now our president. And the country goes on. It goes on. Because there's morality. There is morality. What is the morality in the Gulf state where we go to Dubai every day? Where we went to try, we Kenyans are there trying to spoil, to steal, to forge documents. Nigerians are there, Ugandans are there trying to forge documents. Umesikia? They have gone to spoil. Most of them are languishing, being deported. If you go to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, you will see how many women are being deported from Dubai and are told never to go to Dubai. And they come to Kenya, they change their passports, then they go back there. Because of the bad manners. In Uganda, the same bad manners. We have taken bad moralities into United Arab Emirates and those countries where they don't even have an election. Have you ever heard of an election in UAE, in Qatar, in Oman? Who elects people? They sit down and look at each other. But they are the richest people. They don't have even fruits. They don't have berries, like we have very good berries here. Or pig's orange. They imported the pig's orange from Africa. And we, the Africans, eat it there. And I say, I took my family to Dubai for holiday. Rubbish. Kwenda huko. That I was in holiday in Dubai with my family. The oranges that you are eating are the ones that came from Naivasha farm. But in Naivasha, you don't want even peace. You don't want morals. In Dubai, where you are eating the orange, where you have taken your family for holiday, Miriam, there is discipline, ethics, morality, ethical. You need ethics. I pass the baton to Gladwell.
Gladwell.
Thank you so much, Doc. And as we're talking on the issue of morality, I think we also need to look at something, humanitarian issues. And I'm glad you've gone to outside Kenya. And Miriam, if you have seen, there are so many cases we are receiving. If you go to the airport each and every day, we can see a cargo coming in. Africans, Kenyans, in a cargo, they are dead. They were killed in Saudi Arabia. So I think as we also talk about morality, we also need to include it also in other parts of the country. Kenyans are being mistreated in Saudi Arabia. And what makes Kenyans girls go there? They claim that Kenyan economy is tough, lack of jobs. And again, let me bring back the issue of morality in Kenya. Doc, you get somebody out here, a graduate is the one. I'm not trying to say that it is bad, but a graduate, somebody with a master's degree is actually a mama mboga. Yet somebody who barely just finished Form 4 but has the right connection is sitting in a good position, earning 200 and something without 1,000 as a salary per month and other allowances, but didn't even go beyond Form 4. So I want you to show you that in Kenya, currently we even turned the job opportunities to be a connection. And that's why somebody asked me, she finished Form 4 and she asked me, why would I go to college? Because after end of it all, my mom is poor, she doesn't have connection. I'll just read, yes, have the papers, but actually end up here just doing to vibarua kufulia watu nguo. And that is what has happened in Miriam. If you've gone around the likes of Komboka is a graduate, but she sells chips. That is what she does. So you find that you okay, not waste, but you go for the 4 years in campus, you graduate, your mother or your father sacrificed for you to have a better life, but you end up more struggling. At a point you even wish I was given that campus money. I start my own business or do something with it. So that is the morality, also immorality we're having in Kenya. We need to go back whereby people should sweat for the what they have actually struggled for to gain. But you're finding that somebody's sweat is actually making somebody live a poshy life, somebody who has no experience, but because the father is a prominent person, the father got connection, the father is wealthy, that daughter cannot suffer. And that's why, Miriam, you're finding like in those cases of somebody like Oscar Sudi, it was just discovered yesterday that Sudi didn't do the school he claimed that he did the exams, his name is not there. That is what is happening in Kenya currently, and I wish it can stop. Let people sweat for what they have worked for, of what they have struggled for. We need a proper community.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And for Sudi's case.
Before you pose another question, Miriam, I want to challenge my sister Kirako. Are we not the same graduates who say Ruto is our thief, but we shall vote him?
We are, Doc, and that's a point I call people stupid.
Yes. We are the same. We are the same. The same graduates. You argue with people online. They are graduates. They are saying we don't care. Don't tell us anything you are talking about. We are not interested. We are voting our thief. That team, KK, is our thief. So we shall vote. So it is we ourselves who eat our jobs through the vote. We put there bad people who are corrupt. Then we end up in Saudi Arabia looking for their jobs, where the economy is, their people don't want even to work. But they would like to have an African slave to work. Did you know that? When you go to Saudi Arabia, you go as a slave. You are not going as a worker recognized with your rights. Wewe uliharibu kwako, unaenda huko. Kwako una vote Ruto, unataka kwenda huko. You think these Arabs also don't have intelligence sources here? Wako na intelligence commanders here attached to the embassy here in Nairobi. Mnakuja kwetu huko kwenye muizi anawaiba. Mnakuja kukula pesa zetu. That's the truth. The intelligence services of Saudi Arabia knows very well that Kenya is a corrupt-prone area. So when any Kenyan coming to that place is just deemed corrupt, before she steps out of there, they buy safes which they lock all the equipment. It's not only Kenyan, any African working in Saudi Arabia, not only Kenyans are dying.
Those people are very inhumane, and you know, it's just a separate matter how they. It is the bad conditions that our poor governance has created in this continent that we see a lot of our young, people going up there, others dying in the Mediterranean, others going to the Gulf states to look for work, and the stories we hear there is very horrifying. So I think sometimes back, if I can remember, the government has formed an office and an agency that will be dealing with these matters. I can't remember exact details, but the government has responded to that. How effective this will be as far as ensuring those who are going there are safe, I'm not sure, but the government is trying to do something.
Miriam, I want to tell you and tell other younger people, tell your relatives, your sisters, your brothers with Kiraku, tell them the only safest place on earth where you can go and have an opportunity. And I'm saying it here I want to thank the British government, the British Her Majesty, the Queen. The British are the most welcoming people on planet Earth. Medium, they have put institutions there. Whether you are black and disabled, you are walking on your buttocks, crawling on your buttocks or your back. You are brought in a theater, in a hospital. No British doctor will refuse to treat you. And I want Africans to understand, those listening to me, please. The British are the best people on planet Earth as far as conditions of working there and receiving any other community, whether Chinese, whether Hindu, yellow, brown, green, they are all there. And it is your talent. The British allow talent. If you are a very good person, you have good behavior, you have gone to school, to university, Canterbury, London Guildhall, Oxford, Cambridge, and you have qualified. Matanga has qualified. They will not discriminate you, ma'am. You people listening to me. They will say, come for the interview. And if you convince, and in that interview, Miriam, there is nobody, no father, no mother, no sister, nobody knows you. It's your qualities, presentation, answering the questions, knowing what type of work, your CV, what you want, what they want. I bet, I swear in the name of God, the letter will land on your address. That Dr. David Matanga, you have been offered a job as senior Sky News consultant for Africa. Out of how many, Miriam, can I tell you? Out of how many? 33,000 candidates. I emerged number one. Even my wife looked at me and said, "You have magic or something. You work with magic?" I said, "What do you mean?" I went there. I presented my papers. They said, "Come tomorrow for the interview." They check the campus where you went. In Britain, there is one number, medium number only. You don't need CV.
Even now they've introduced that. They've introduced that. We have a name for it here. They've introduced that here, so that will be able to trace your
one number
history.
And you give them that number, it will download everything of yours. So there is no lying. Then they say, "Come tomorrow at 2 p.m. for your interview, scheduled in room number 20. Nilienda. This is a post for the senior consultant, for a consultant for Africa on Sky News. You travel with the journalists and you tell them, this nation, this country, this is Zimbabwe. Please don't touch here. Don't do that. Don't say that. This is the river. What? The president is this. They got independence here. My Jesus Christ. Miriam, when I went there that 2 p.m., the lady was waiting for me to usher me in. By then, I was not as big as now. I was very handsome, tall and handsome, and with very nice suit. Nilipiga suti. I think nilikuwa nafikiri suti hiyo ndio itatisha wale. I wore a very nice suit of about 300 pounds. 300 pounds, British pounds. Nilienda na shoes. Nilikaa chini. Walianza kuniuliza maswali. Maswali hii mnauliza mimi. This is a man. I ate the maswali like a posho, but like a ugali. You are telling me who was the Colonel Gaddafi overthrew who? I said King Idris. Huh? They look at each other like this. Which question are we going to bring? They are denying me questions. 40 questions. What is the capital city of Johannesburg, of South Africa? I asked them now, which one? Commercial, administrative,
judicial,
or where the parliament is? Then, now the Wazungu, they had a fixed. They had a fixed. That is how I think I scored it. They had fixed on what is the capital administrative city of South Africa. No, they said what the capital city of South Africa. So I asked my panel, are you looking, now it is me teaching the panel. Miriam, this friend of yours, David here, give him tears at times. I'm now teaching the panel. I said, are you looking for administrative capital, commercial capital, or where the parliament is? Then they said, a moment, the chair was asking me which one is. No. Then they came, I said, administrative capital. I said, it's Pretoria. Hey! This guy said this one is, I remember that question seriously. Then they asked me, you come from Uganda. When did Idi Amin overthrew the government and whose government was overthrown? I said, Wala Wakibar. These guys are asking a man who knows this thing already. I started teaching them. They say, hold the fire. Because I was now, you know, for me, like you now, if you don't stop me, I will talk until tomorrow. You know, that's my culture. I started this, that, and this. And these guys said, this. I am the one they took long time on. Because they were on the panel, I could see one Mzungu was not very comfortable. The face had started becoming red. Because this is a guy, he's answering every question. Was he given these questions yesterday or what? I was not given. I didn't know anybody in Sky News. And I said, Idi Amin overthrew him on 25th of January 1971. And I want to tell you that was the day I was entering senior secondary school, the first day. The same day, they said, Allah, okay. The last question they gave me, how many deserts are in Africa? How many major deserts? They said major deserts are in Africa. I said 2. Sahara and the Kalahari. Sahara and the Kalahari deserts. And the Sahara, now I went on to lecture to the panel. Sahara is situated in the most parts of North Africa, in areas of Egypt, Chad, to the west, top of Gambia, Morocco, comes to the north, Libya, Tunisia. This is part of Sahara Desert. Kalahari Desert, I even now started telling them the history, a colony that was colonized by the Germans in Kalahari Desert in Namibia. The current country that occupies where Kalahari Desert mostly is Namibia. And the capital city is Windhoek. And there is another city, seaport, Walvis Bay, where there are blue dunes, sand dunes. Hey, this, you know, they took more time on me, 1 hour. Usually that interview takes 15 minutes. You are out, 1 hour. So the following morning, my dear sister, Miriam, a letter lands in my address. Poop with the Sky News forms, medical, this check, right, fill this, and bring us police check. You know, the police check there is very quick. You go to the police station, they give the number, your name, and they will print you the police check. Not the one of Kenya that goes to Cairo, then it comes back to Johannesburg, then you wait, it goes to Addis Ababa, then it arrives. There it is on the spot at the police station. I went to South Croydon police station. No, not South Croydon, Croydon Central Police Station. That's where my nearest. And they gave me the good conduct. I attached it. I went physically. They wanted all those papers after you have filled the forms. Next of kin, you'll be traveling, your passport number, blah, blah, blah. Poop, all this. When they asked me, that letter came, I said, this one is something that I prayed. I got my Casimiro Bible. Where is it today? I left it in Nairobi, or where? I got my Casimiro Bible. I prayed, I kissed it, I prayed, I kissed it. That is how things work. So when you talk about Saudi Arabia, there's no such an interview there. You go as a slave, you work as a slave, you come back a dead slave. In Britain, the nurses who are going there, They have even better housing. They have now acquired housing for the nurses. That's why Britain is recruiting nurses from Kenya and Zimbabwe. Because in Kenya, the standards of training nurses is very good. We should use these platforms to educate people about the values of the British Empire. The British are the only people in the world that can welcome you, that can give you money, that can give you food, that can give you clothes, that can give you breathing space. I want that clip to be put together. It goes out. It is the only country in the world where a person from anywhere can settle and become something. It is the only country in the world that gives you opportunity to read, to study, and come back and have the tools of study. It's the only country in the world that can give you food without discriminating you. Forget about Saudi Arabia. Forget about Turkey, where all our brothers are going. Forget all about Qatar. Forget all about Oman. Forget all about Kuwait. In Kuwait, in Amman, in Qatar, you are looked at, you take them the money, but they look at you like you are a zombie. Nobody can look at you in Britain as a zombie. Britain, the British, still rank the best in the entire world. Not even America can reach the status of British as far as having a cosmopolitan country, a country with so many values, diversity, but still united with norms of a social contract. I submit. Voila.
Okay.
Next, Kiragu. I'm asking Kiragu, anything that you have got from there? Kiragu, have you reached Keno? Let's proceed, Miriam. Kiragu seems to be, we have a few minutes. We have reached the top of the hour. Let's go to the next topic.
Yeah, I think we were looking at that. South Sudan. Was it South Sudan?
Let's have the clip. Just the clip, and we summarize it with you for comments, if you don't mind. That clip, I did it on News Central, and I am in support of sanctions. Not sanctions, arms embargo. Not sanctions of food, but they can be given money to buy food, but not arms. Yes.
Now, joining us to discuss this live is Dr. David Masanga. He joins in from Nairobi, in Kenya. Good evening to you, Dr. Masanga, and thanks for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
Good evening, viewers across the continent of Africa, and I'm sorry for the technical delay due to the good weather down here in Mombasa.
Yeah, these things happen. Now, Dr. Masanga, why is Amnesty International calling for renewal of the arms embargo in South Sudan? What do you make of this?
Because the fighting has erupted. There are killings taking place right now in South Sudan, and it is not very advisable for anybody to add arms, more arms. The country has not stabilized. There are more rebel groups mushrooming, opening up. There are many other militia groups that are teaming up with old groups to kill more people in the United States, in the inner states of South Sudan. The peace there is very fragile. The international community has not actually helped South Sudan to permanently get peace. So adding their arms will cause more harm to the people and to the region. So I fully support the embargo because you don't know where these arms could fall in, whose hands it will go to.
Okay. Now, Dr. Matanga, one of the provisions of the arms embargo on South Sudan is the attainment of human rights benchmark. Where would you say South Sudan is today in terms of human rights?
There are no human rights there. I mean, human rights in South Sudan went a long time ago. You can see since the war started between Dr. Riek Machar and Salva Kiir, the killings have gone on, unabated. The international community has watched. There is one problem that has happened about South Sudan, that the agreement was wrongly done. Any agreement, any negotiator like me, I would not call the South Sudan agreement, peace agreement by IGAD as an agreement. There is no accountability. And I've stated to the people of East Africa, the region, the government, the President Uhuru Kenyatta, President Museveni, President Salva Kiir, and other presidents of IGAD, that until they do what we call accountability, agenda number 5 is accountability always. Let's have a hybrid tribunal. There were about 384,000 people killed. And you have no accountability for them. And then you come back to make a political peace agreement where you are giving political positions of the first vice president, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth vice president. How many vice presidents are you going to have? When people want accountability, they should have started with accountability. For me, my suggestion is, let the United Nations, let the East African community, the IGAD and the AU form an international hybrid tribunal to try those commanders who are again recruiting militias and are going to kill people like the way they killed people 6-7 years ago. If we don't put a tribunal, I'm sorry, and I'm telling you, the human rights records in South Sudan is going to be worse. And it is worse as we speak now.
Now, Dr. Matanga, according to a report by Transparency International, the government of South Sudan has failed to end conflict-related sexual violence and protection for the survivors. Is the government complicit in some of these things?
Compensate them with what? With saliva or with water, with stones? The government is bankrupt. It doesn't have the money.
No, is the government complicit? Are they in on this? And are government soldiers, are government forces part of those committing this crime? Yes.
Part of the massacres, yes. You can't say no, because it looks like the government, because where do these groups come from? I think there is a problem here that we are not speaking the truth about South Sudan. There is a new rebel group that has been formed in the central equatorial region that is disrupting. And then there are other groups that are being formed towards the Sudan border, the Sudan, Khartoum, and then Ethiopia, then the middle. Then we have a problem in Abyei, that peninsula. There's still peacekeeping forces there. Now, when you say government to be part of companies, they can't. There is no government almost there. The government is in Juba. The government is not even in every place of South Sudan. The President Salva Kiir and the 5 vice presidents control Juba, and they get the little resources. But I want to be on the side of the South Sudanese and talk about funding South Sudan and funding the peace process, funding the recommendations of the peace that was negotiated is what has become a bottleneck, because the soldiers went to internment areas to assemble for DDR. They didn't have the money to hold the soldiers there. So some of the soldiers left. So the South Sudan government, the UN must not just do lip service. The Americans should not just come to put embargoes. The Americans should pump in money to the government and say, we want to hold the peace that we have got. And that has not been done. And I want to be on this one to be very balanced, that South Sudan, even if you say you temporarily have ceasefire, how are you going to hold the ceasefire when the soldiers want food? The soldiers want money, want salary. The government cannot pay the salary. That's why they are accomplice to some of the crimes that have been committed.
Now, finally, Dr. Matsanga, how effective are these sanctions? Would you say sanctions and embargo, arms embargo, are the right way to go? Because even with the sanctions, we'll still have incidents of skirmishes and attacks.
Sanctions in third world countries kill the ordinary people. They don't kill the government. President Salva Kiir can come to Nairobi and have what he wants, but the ordinary Sudanese will not have what he wants. The international community should think out of this question of sanctions. They should not talk about sanctions all the time.
What would you recommend?
They should engage and pump in money. They should engage the people. They should engage Dr. Riek Machar. They should engage General Salva Kiir, put them together and pump in money. You cannot be talking to a government that cannot pay its employees. It cannot pay its soldiers. So the international community, especially America, that has actually interest in this region, is the one playing us these games. Why they playing the games? The UN is playing us games. Why are they playing games to the people of South Sudan? The government in South Sudan does not have money, my brother. It doesn't have money even to pay its civil servants. Why can't we help and engage instead of putting sanctions? Yes, don't give them the arms, but give them the money. Give them the money to run the government. And then also put corruption on a red flag. There's plenty of corruption in South Sudan. That the little oil, that the money that they get out of oil disappears because it is in debt. It's a country that has no money to service its own internal and external debts. So you cannot expect peace coming out. Any analyst in Africa who says that peace will come in South Sudan when they have not pumped in money to maintain that peace has not gone to school.
Thank you very much, Dr. David Matsanga. Always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for your time and insights.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless Africa.
Thank you, Dr. Matsanga.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless Africa. My Miriam, your man struggles for you across, and I still stand struggling for you. When you come for my prayers in All Saints Church one day, just to say thank you, David. Isn't it? Don't look there, look this way where I am.
I'm trying to follow what you're saying.
Eh?
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
I can't hear you. Oh, okay. Yes?
I'm saying I'm trying to follow what you're saying.
Yes. When I come, it is a country which is bankrupt. So what do you expect? How do they control? They have eaten all the money. The workers have not been paid. So how do you expect a country to police peace when there is rampant corruption? We are done. Tuambiane ukweli. The international community is playing games on African countries also. If this problem was in Ukraine, they would tell us to stand and listen, the whole world. But because it is in Sudan, South Sudan, where people are killing people, 72 people is a huge number.
But the international community has really, really tried and has been there for South Sudan for a long time now, about almost 9 years or so.
Hasn't it been there for Somalia?
Yeah.
So now why do you want to abandon in South Sudan. You can't afford to have another Somalia in Central Africa. We shall be in hell.
And the difference, because you brought in Ukraine, if it was the same thing, perhaps the reaction would have been different. But the difference between, say, South Sudan and Ukraine is just the earlier conversation you were having about the moral values and things like that. Ukraine has its own set of, values as far as democratic practices and governance and tolerance to corruption and things like that is concerned. It is a different case. It is a different leadership we are seeing, in South Sudan. So as much as the stakeholders who have been holding South Sudan, they feel like they've had enough, because surely, what else? The Pope kissed their feet. People have been there for the people of South Sudan and the country of South Sudan, but you can just push so far. At the end of the day, there needs to be a will from the leadership of South Sudan itself to really want to, work things out. So as much as the support is there, we can only support people who are willing and who really want that peace and who want that stability. But that has not been exhibited very well in South Sudan. So I'm not going to take the blame to the international community. This one lies squarely with the leadership of the people of South Sudan, because the world has been there for South Sudanese and South Sudan.
First of all, in the final statement, there is a problem in Africa that we don't always speak out. The conflict, the international community knows. Miriam, I just want to reassure you that there's one thing that the international community can do on South Sudan. Just mention one day that the United Nations Security Council would like to set up a hybrid tribunal. Ha! Do you know how many of these generals will run out of Kenya and try to hide other places? It is a deterrent. It's a deterrent. You know now, the people who lost their mothers and the children and the fathers and so on, these are the new groups that are coming up who hate Riek Machar, they hate Salva Kiir. So if you put some of these generals on trial, and we see them, the Arusha declaration, they are in Arusha standing trial, people will not go back to a gun again. That's the truth I'm telling you. So otherwise, thank you very much. Kirago, do you have any comment from that clip?
No, I have none.
You mean it hasn't interested you?
It has, just that, Doc, when you speak, you always hit the nail on the head. So I have not much to add on it.
I believe you have arrived now.
Yes.
Oh, you have arrived home.
Okay. All right.
God bless.
We can talk about that
Thank
after
you.
the show. But, Doc, there's something that I'd like. Raila Odinga was in South Sudan yesterday. And
we are still continuing.
No, just before we conclude.
Oh.
And this is what he said. Let me just get that. And the High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa has called on leaders in South Sudan to talk as brothers and seek homegrown solution to problems the country is facing. Raila Odinga, who is also a former Prime Minister of Kenya, encouraged the leaders to forgive each other and work towards a better future for South Sudan. He said the country is bigger than individuals. And I think that is the part these people don't understand. The country is bigger than Riek Machar. The country is bigger than President Salva Kiir. The country is bigger than Angelina, that person. The country is bigger than all of them. And that is the point they miss. But it has always been about them and what they want, not about the larger community of the people of South Sudan and the countries. I think the day they will recognize that it is a privilege they have to be leading this country and the country is bigger than them, I think that will be the day that perhaps they'll start doing things differently. And I think Raila is the right person to tell them, You are brothers and you should shake hands because he has done it. We've seen how that has worked here in the country. So I think he is the right person to tell them, hey, at the end of the day, you're brothers and you have a country to build and you should come together. And the only solutions that will come that will be long lasting and will have prosperity will be solutions by you guys, not outsiders, not Kenya, not the US, not the Troika, just you, homegrown solutions. And the minute we can get that, like the way Somalia is trying to get its house in order, I think that is the time these people will be the right path towards finding a stable, South Sudan. And no, the arms embargo should not be lifted.
First of all, Miriam, thank you very much. I also want to bring in, I think you can bring in pictures of Raila meeting President Museveni in Kampala before we close. That's very important. Production team, and I want Gladwell to make your comments. And Miriam, then I can conclude, because I know I have some other information beyond that. You have those pictures?
I've seen them. I've seen them. Yes, they have them. They're going to. I don't know what were the details of the meeting between Raila and Museveni. I'm not sure. I know the details of that meeting. But maybe he. I don't know. So I don't want to speculate. So I can't speak on it because I don't know the details of that meeting.
I know the details. I will speak. Don't worry. Just to make your comment on what you think. Is it a good thing, bad thing?
He could be meeting Museveni as the, AU, a commissioner for infrastructure. I don't know if that is why he went there.
Yeah, he combined the both. You use the opportunity to hit one stone with two stones. There is no way they cannot meet and talk. Miriam, I have been in these systems for a long time. So
no, I just said that I don't have the details. So I can't speak on it. Miriam, I don't know.
Production team put the details there. Are they on?
Yeah, they're putting the photo. Yeah, the photos are there.
Okay, thank you very much, viewers. This is a very good sign for His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, for meeting His Excellency President Museveni of Uganda. The misconception that was there was feeding wrong information and being fed with wrong information out of no basis at all. The meeting has clarified and emboldened Raila Odinga's position in Kenya, because President Museveni is an individual who would like to see a better Kenya. You realize that President Museveni has been very cagey on the situation that the elections of Kenya, that he has tried to avoid to take an active role. The assumption in Kenya most of the time was that Museveni, Ruto is the blue boy of President Museveni. No, Ruto's timetables and the turntables turned when Ruto took Harun Ayadin to Kampala and lied to the people of Uganda that Harun Ayadin was a fruit farmer, a new fruit farmer from Turkey who wanted to invest 15 billion shillings worth, or who had money to build a factory in Uganda. From the time that the Harun Ayadin saga happened, Ruto's relationship with the people, after seeing the truth, seemed to be an underground type of relationship. So we should not take this. We should also equally welcome this gesture for His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, for meeting President Museveni. We encourage you to do so and make sure that you take your advice from the corner. But our president should not meet Mr. Ruto because Mr. Ruto took a farmer, a new farmer whom he claimed was an investor. And the media, as we speak right now, Uganda is grappling with the investor problem. There's an investor who came to take coffee, who came to buy coffee and build coffee, who came with nothing, with a penny. 2 days ago, the Parliament of Uganda, I think you followed that, rejected soundly, wholesomely, threw out the agreement and told the investor to go and dry in Lake Victoria. So the president is very careful that this time he does not burn his fingers again in this type of Harun Ayadin investors. 2 weeks ago, there were Turkish investors who were in Uganda, and Mr. Harun Ayadin's name did not feature in these investors. And surely, if Harun Ayadin was a high-profile investor from Turkey, why didn't he come with the other Turkish investors of 200 of them from agriculture, industrialists, chemical industrialists, fertilizer manufacturers, tourism, and so on and so forth? He did not appear. So my guess is as good as your guess. And we thank Ogwambo for going there to both in capacity as High Commissioner for the African Union and then also. Yes, thank you. Any comment, Gladwell?
No.
When it reaches there, why do you just say no? You should make a comment. So thank you very much. That is a very good ending. At least we shall see whether Ruto also flies to go out. Of course, each party has got friends from all corners of the world. It doesn't matter. I know Azimio will have friends from various circles because they are a mixture of parties. And there is one thing that we have not touched. It is only Azimio that has been allowed to use Azimio name in the IEBC, and the Kenya Kwanza is not on the ballot. What is the difference there, Kirako?
Come again, Doc.
Azimio has been allowed to use its name Azimio. And Ruto has been not allowed to use the name Kenya Kwanza by the IEBC. You saw, I don't know why we escaped. Did we talk about it? Yeah, that's the breaking news that we have. I think we better talk about it on Sunday to find out, is it an advantage to use ODM? Azimio, Kenya Kwanza is not using Kenya Kwanza, it is using UDA. So there are so many queries coming out now. Why UDA? And all of you came and said Kenya Kwanza. Mudavadi was Kenya Kwanza. You see? So it is not on the ballot. Azimio is on the ballot. It's the only name accepted. I think they have written somewhere. It's the only name accepted. The IEBC has announced to be used as Azimio for voting. So you will not see any ODM party, you will only see Azimio symbol and Azimio itself as the name. So thank you very much, Miriam, for hosting us. And on behalf of millions of boy child, I've been sandwiched by girl child. Thank you very much. This morning and on this television station, I hand back everything to you in the studios in Nairobi. Have a nice weekend. Until Sunday, you will stand in for me. The other Sunday, I stood in for you. So thank you very much. I might not be available, but wherever I will be, Miriam, I will try to join you. I want to thank you very much, especially the issue of Mengistu Haile Mariam, that is also running the radar systems. So very shortly, we shall see the documents coming out. We are working on that. We have been called upon to work on some of the things. So here we are. God bless. Back to you in the studio. And thank you very much for hosting us.
All right, and thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on Sunday, God willing. Bye-bye for now.